Good morning. G'day. It's Fish, the Beach Bum Investor. Cryptocurrency discussion and report for the 16th of January 2018. Just going to post up in Discord, let the crew know we've started. NEO's been defiant on the back of some China news coming out. Well, China FUD, really. I'll go through that in a second. Just get the combo started. Eric Meds is in, BB Junkie, Thomas Lee, Floyd. Everyone's starting rolling for the combo. I'm just going to close my front door because that wind is really bad here today. Okay. I'm back. G'day, admin. Jordan. I'm just going to close down Discord so we don't get the beeping. XRP is getting crushed. Mate, everything's getting crushed. It's been a red letter day in the crypto economy, red number day. Everything's taken some pretty heavy retracements, apart from NEO, which is interesting because there has been some FUD come out of China. And I'm just going to bring up this, I'll come over to screen share in a second, but I'll just find this article first. And we can go through it together. Here we go. All right, just going to bring you over to screen share, guys. Might be a second. We'll start by having a look at this news out of China, or this FUD, really, because I'll explain why I think it's more than likely fear, uncertainty, and doubt, but could be causing part of it. Okay, so this is the article I had a look at. It's only written a few hours ago, or released a few hours ago, I should say. China escalates crackdown on cryptocurrency. China is escalating its clampdown on cryptocurrency trading, targeting online platforms and mobile apps that offer exchange-like services, according to people familiar with the matter. Well, first and foremost, that's not exactly crediting any specific source, just according to people familiar with the matter. Fair enough. While authorities banned cryptocurrency exchanges last year, they've recently noted an uptick in activity on alternative venues. The government plans to block domestic access to homegrown and offshore platforms that enable centralised trading, the people said, without being more specific about how policymakers define such platforms. Authorities will also target individuals and companies that that provide market-making, settlement and clearing services for centralised trading, the people said, asking not to be named because the information is private. Small peer-to-peer transactions aren't being targeted, they said. So that's, I mean, it's not a complete ban on crypto, but obviously a shutdown or a squeeze on the exchanges is going to prevent that Chinese yuan from coming into the market a little bit, obviously. Bitcoin fell 1.2% to 13,580 US at 11:36 in London. The Chinese government rolling clampdown has roiled global markets for Bitcoin and other digital tokens over the past few months. Regulators around the world are stepping up scrutiny of cryptocurrencies amid concerns over excessive speculation, money laundering, and tax evasion. Perhaps they should investigate the US dollar then. Up until early last year, China was the most active market for Bitcoin trading on exchanges. It's still home to some of the biggest Bitcoin miners, though they've begun looking elsewhere as local authorities call for curbs on the industry. China's central bank didn't immediately respond to a fax request for comment. That's by Bloomberg. Okay, so coming off screen share. Stop. I'm back. What do we think? What's the thoughts, guys? G'day, Z. Christopher Stone. Yo, yo, yo. Me and the cameraman are at the barber shop getting haircuts from Bitcoin. Oh, cool, man. You're at the barber shop getting haircuts for Bitcoin. That's sweet. That's a good comment, man. Christopher Science said, according to people familiar with the matter. Well, that's it, folks. Pack it up. Yeah, man. It's not exactly a solid source, is it? G'day, Grinkers. Oh, look, I think the economy was overheated, and I think the correction is somewhat healthy. It couldn't keep going forever. We've talked about that for a long time. Oh, it's Chronicus. I didn't know that. How are you, dude? Cool. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the market now because it has been bleeding a bit this morning. Fortunately for me, I paid my energy bill using cryptocurrency through the living room of Satoshi before the dip. So nice cheap electricity bill for me, considering, let's see, when that electricity bill actually started, I probably I'm probably paid about a quarter of what it actually should have been. Ethercept. 9 dragons received fish, feeling like Targaryen. Nice one, man. I'll send the rest through. I just wanted to check that address, dude. So that's cool. It did cost us, guys. Ethercept and I did a KuCoin withdrawal, a test. So I'd never withdrawn off the KuCoin exchange before, and Ethercept said, we'll just make it, we'll do 2, just do a test one. And just to let you guys know, if you are looking to withdraw on Dragon Chain, that's what I did. It'll cost you 1 Dragon Chain, and the minimum withdrawal is 10 Dragon Chain. So, it's a reasonable withdrawal fee. It's not super cheap, but I guess it depends on your level of investment. So yeah, just to be aware that yes, it does cost 1 Dragon Chain to remove 10. That doesn't scale up, by the way. If I move, 1,000 now, it'll still only cost 1. So that's just a standard withdrawal fee from the KuCoin exchange. But that's good to hear you got it, Ethercept. Proves that it allows withdrawals quite easily. So that was good. I'll send the rest through after the stream, dude. Shaquille Ahmed. Verge has had a nice correction. Do you think it's a good buy? Honestly, I think it was overpaid. Can I say that, Shaquille? Because look, you're valuing something at $2 billion that hasn't had an application released on top of it yet. Wraith Protocol's only just been implemented. I haven't really kept an eye on how that's been going. I don't know that it's a bad buy now. I think that when it got to 30 cents, it was overheated. Definitely. So you might look for more than normal retracements on that one, because there was a lot of hype that drove that price. Yes. Chronicus just said tomorrow's tattoo day. I can't wait, man. Get some good photos for us. Shivers. I've still got to get that proposal through to the tattoo artist as well. I'll do that today as well. Got a bunch on. JK, what do you think will happen with the markets for the next few days and weeks? JK, well, this article was only written 3 hours ago, and considering people read headlines and not the article, I wouldn't be surprised to see further retracements. It is from the source of Bloomberg, which is a very, very respected and they're influential in terms of their effect on the economy. And I have seen it time and time again, both in crypto markets and real world markets, where people read headlines and they don't read the article. So for me, that is not enough to scare me, but I know it probably will the market. That's the thing. So, I mean, I'm a long-term player anyway, so I just hold through the dip, so it's fine. Like I said, I paid an electricity bill this morning, so that'll give me, I could even, responsibly put a little bit back fiat in now. I haven't done fiat into the economy for a long time. So if it dips well, I might be in a position to actually do that again. But next few days, I think it could. This economy is so it turns on a dime, man. So it's hard to predict those sorts of things. But I guess just with this article coming out in the recent FUD out of Korea as well, and now Indonesia's come out as well, guys. The central bank out of Indonesia's come out with or the government of Indonesia have come out and said cryptocurrency is not legitimate currency in Indonesia. That's a bit of a hit. So there's been some FUD in Asian markets. I think that'll continue around the world. I never thought this would be super easy. Getting cryptocurrencies accepted on mass scales, mass adoption. The bigger it gets, the more enemies it's going to get. That's the reality. That's the truth. So that's fine though. We have to go through this stage. We do. I think it could see further retracements. I could be wrong. I don't think we've seen all-time highs in the crypto economy. So if you've got a good coin that hasn't gone berserk, it might be a good time to have a look at considering some buy orders down on the buy books. Chronica said tomorrow we're going to also order pizza using cryptopizzaforcoins.com. Man, you know that someone paid like $20 million for a pizza. I paid like $800 for my internet service provider bill in sort of June last year or July last year when I was doing a PivX promo video showing how to use Living Room with Satoshi. So now that PivX that I spent on that internet service provider bill is worth $800, something like that. So it's an expensive PivX promo video. What's up, Dennis Turk? Good to see you, man. That's just Hourglass. That's too big of predictions, my friend, and looking too far into the future in this economy. Neo was an obscure Ant Shares coin 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Now I know it's done very, very well, but they're lofty predictions. But I'm going to read them out because I don't censor people. Hourglass believes in a 1,000 Neo valuation by the end of 2018. I said 300. It could get to 500. I don't know about 1,000, man. That's very, very big. That was for sure, by the way, 100% certain by Hourglass. Very responsible, mate. And $10,000 Neo by 2021. Well, geez, that'll make the big bag that I dumped at $10 look pretty silly then, won't it? Kev, hey, I'm still holding a bunch of Dippers RN right now. Cool. Oh, Rudy Adam, self-key, get it before it goes up. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know how to respond to that. It's 51:50 time. G'day, Cheer Kai. Good to see you again. Pablo's in. What would be a good coin to get during the dips? Well, I might do a top. Look, I might do. I don't really like doing short-term predictions, but I could do a top 5 for February. I'll put that together towards the end of the month. Let me have a look at the market and see how things are going. I think a lot of the newer projects coming onto the market have been overvalued throughout the hype. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, market cap's down to 662. It's not, it's not disaster time by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a solid retracement. Ripple is getting smashed. That's correct. It's down to $1.63. That's one of the really heavy losers in the top 20. Dash has taken a real heavy hit as well, now below $1,000. Haven't seen that for a while. So, yeah, the whole market's struggling. Monero's been one that's bucked the trend, up 1.48%. Not huge gains, but bucking an overall market correction like this is a good thing. VeChain, Ven has also bucked the trend, but it did take a bit of a retracement to get to a position where it was bottoming out. So it's nice to see. It looks like it's found some support there. 1.54% up in the last 24 hours. Gas has followed the trend of Neo, which I've found really, really interesting. I think it's all-time highs for gas, isn't it? It's pretty close, if not. There's a few others. Mona Coin's making a little bit of a comeback. But yeah, pretty much a red day. Red 24 hours anyway. PivX has done okay. I mean, like, PivX is only down 5% in this, what has been a pretty heavy correction, sitting at $11. I'm pretty happy with that. Looking at the longer term, as usual. Let's see. King Crypto, predictions for Icon for 2018, anyone? My guess is $100. King Crypto got maths for $30, so that's as far as I'll go. $30. I got maths for that, based on the Korean markets. So yeah, it's unlikely that's conservative, right? Because that assumes no further investment into the crypto economy at all over 2018, which is unlikely. And then it also assumes that it's only going to be Korea investing in Icon. Also unlikely. But conservative figures, I get it to $30. So yeah, yours is $100. A lot of people are starting to say that. I did actually see a really good article that used a much more complex formula than mine, taking into account a lot more a lot more factors, but it does leave it open for a lot more variables as well, because a lot of those things are assumed. But still, it was an impressive formula, and it got it to about the $100 mark. I can't remember the exact figure. So a lot of people are talking about that. Just depends on, yeah, it does. BB Junkie makes a good point. It depends a lot on government action and regulation out of Korea as well. What do I think of Dragon Chain? Disney aren't as big as a say as everyone appears to make. Is that right, Adnan? We'll have to look more into that, man. I still think it's a promising project. Dragon Chain seems to be making moves quickly. I mean, they've made that partnership with Life ID. I think that's a big move. I think they've sort of read the market well and read what's going on in crypto politics, if you like. So we're seeing a trend from governments as they catch up to what's going on, and as the market cap gets bigger and bigger and starts to threaten traditional economics and financial institutions more and more. We're not even close to being a real threat yet, but as it happens, governments are starting to move. So I think that Dragon Chain have thought about how they can best, and similar to Icon actually, how they can best actually appease the governments in allowing cryptocurrency to at least continue for the sake of blockchain technology and for what that can bring to industry. So I think they've thought about that in terms of partnering with Life ID, and that's going to enable people to do their KYCs and have a KYC, like a digital identity, with Dragon Chain. I think that's pretty clever. And they also seem focused on helping the non-blockchain world convert into the blockchain world, which is daunting for a lot of businesses out there. So it's been an interesting trend where in the real world stocks, where anyone who announces they're going to do a blockchain project, the stock price goes through the roof. So I think that people realize there is value in this technology, and I know governments realize that as well. They're just trying to understand how they can control it. The FUD seems similar with what happened to Neo. I just keep dollar cost averaging Icon the same way I did with Neo. Seems to be the best strategy for real projects. Yeah, it's a great strategy, King Crypto. Dollar cost averaging is very, very easy. It's an easy to keep track of. It's easy to understand when to buy the dips, and it's easy to have a long-term view and a long-term strategy about accumulation, right? Not about jamming your entire house in on one play. It's about, I'm going to have this much this week, this much this week. I'm going to buy the dips. I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging. When I get a huge parabolic run up, I might sell a bit off, take my profits. But it's a savings account, right? That's what long-term projects are. That's what I use PivX for. That's what that's what I have somewhat used Neo for. More PivX for me. But yeah, I think it's a good play. Popo Naya Shelley said XVG has taken a flogging. Every coin has their time for sure. I do think it was overheated, and it's all relative. I mean, if you look at it for me, I bought it at 0.5 cent. So for me, no, it's not. Yeah, it's taken a flogging from all-time highs, but I'm still many X my money. So yeah, it's all relative. Yeah, Kev, I did as well, dude. Kev makes a good point. I kept stocking up, dude. I can't see it. Well, I could be wrong, but even if the exchange doesn't grow, we should see a return on our money on our buys today, Kev. So I think that's a good buy, man. I stocked up. I actually jammed a Neo into it. I got a really good price as well. I jammed one full Neo into KuCoin shares, KCS, because the 15% payout for KuCoin shares holders over a long enough period of time is going to be reasonable, even if the volumes stay the same. But if they increase, if things get really big, and Hong Kong is a little bit more, it's kind of where the Chinese projects move when they can't do China anymore. So I think the Hong Kong exchange and KuCoin shares could get some new business, possibly. So yeah, Kev, I think that's a good buy, man. You've already made your own decision, but anyone else looking to buy, please make your own decisions. I'm not a financial advisor. Dave, I haven't seen any. It's a good question, though. Dave Purebred came in with a good one. Any stats on the new investors' adoption after the Christmas holiday? I'm sure there'll be a graph somewhere online, man, that someone's done up. It's a really good question, though. I'd be interested to see it. Neblio is doing a huge descending triangle and has almost done 78% fib fire sale, says Thomas Lee. Neblio, yeah, a lot of people were talking about that a while ago. I think people got in a real habit in this economy of looking at coin price. I'm not necessarily saying that was the case with Neblio, but also just looking at the price relative to where it was yesterday and the day before. And a lot of these projects were actually overpriced significantly. So I think the retracement's healthy. Gets us back to a more realistic evaluation on some of these projects anyway. Mehdi comes in with his every day a different language. Ni hao. Ni hao to you. That's all the Japanese I know. Damn it. I really am not a linguist. Power rally, tuning in late. Why is the market going down? Mate, there was an article out of Bloomberg regarding China and the potential for them to be cracking down on citizens using exchanges from external, other countries. So they're basically trying to stop the purchase of crypto in the country. Peer-to-peer transactions is fine, but that's the report anyway. And as I spoke about it before, but I'll just go back to the start of the article so I get this right. But the source was according to people familiar with the matter. It doesn't really fill you with confidence when they don't give a source. King Crypto. I think it's a good play. Best safe haven coin so far. Neo was, but now quite high to buy anymore. If a good idea. I got some safe haven coins for you, King Crypto. Yeah, for sure. Profits into LCND decreed. I got greedy though and held too many speculative coins. Yeah, King Crypto makes a good point. There's only so much speculating you want to do. You want to keep your money. If you're keeping it in the crypto economy, you want to keep it coming back to those coins that you really have a really good long-term faith in. And you asked a good question about safe haven coins. I don't think there is any, unless you include US dollar tether. But one of the coins, well, not one of the coins, most of the coins I see acting as the best stores of wealth are those that enable residual income. People are less likely to give them up. So your Neo, which produces gas, your PIVX, which has your staking rewards, or your Masternode coins. Although I think Dash is probably less likely to be a safe haven for people because you need so many of them to actually start earning that residual. See, the thing for me is in a downturn market, even in a downturn market, I'm making more coins on my residual income coins. PIVX, Neo, what else have I got that I've got staking? I can't remember. Oh, well, now KCS, KuCoin shares. That's residual income for me. So even in the downturn market, I'm making more coins. Then when the market goes up, I've got those coins and I can sell them at highs. King Crypto said I'm accumulating Dragon the same way I did with Neo, trying to get up to 10,000. I think that'll be a good play, man. JK said, thank you for the video. ICO is a good strategy for 2018. Any current recommendations? Great question, JK. Yeah, man, it does depend. I mean, ICOs are a hot space at the moment. Now, I've always said that you've got to outperform the coin that you've invested with. So if you've invested with Neo, you've got to outperform Neo. If you've invested with Ethereum, you've got to outperform Ethereum. Otherwise, you're better off just holding that actual coin. I think it'll be a hit and miss market in 2018. I think there's going to be a lot more demand for an actual product at the time of ICO. Yeah, I think it can be a really lucrative market. We've seen that in 2017, and I think there's probably going to be more of that in 2018, especially with some really, really good projects. There is one that I'm looking at, JK. I'll just type it in here, man, because I don't like to announce it publicly, but since you're here for the live chat, I've just popped the name of one that I'm looking at in the live chat for you. I did actually apply to be a strategic investor in that one. Got knocked back, unfortunately. Not as influential as some of the bigger players out there. So I was knocked back as a strategic investor on that one, but I'm not going to bag it just because of that. I still think it's a solid project, and there is a public sale coming up on that one. So that would be one that I'm looking at. But JK, I like the team and I like what the plan is. I haven't received a valuation of the company yet, so I'm not just going to go throwing money at it willy nilly. I've got a figure of like if it's under sort of $45 million total valuation, I think that's probably reasonable buying. Anywhere over that, I'd probably consider just leaving it because it's unproven. We don't know. It's got potential to be, worth probably 20 times that if I'm being realistic, but it's unproven. So I won't buy in an evaluation of over 45 million. You do your own maths, you do your own assessments of the market. That's just where I'm looking at it. I came up with some figures. I have a theory. This is Hourglass theory. Look out, buy Neo, hold it. Let's see. Hourglass has a theory. It is if crypto is only worth what one is willing to pay for it, crypto market will surpass the value of the world's current money supply, about 250 trillion. If we pass that, then crypto will be worth more than any dollar, making our dollars now worth less than crypto. Just a theory, but bloody effing solid one, if you ask me. Very nice, Hourglass. You are one of the most enthusiastic crypto supporters I've ever met. Oh, is it Chinese? Oh, of course it is. Damn, I'm an idiot. Ni hao. Ni hao, Chinese. Oh, I sat with a group of Chinese kids on a trip back from, where was I coming back from? I think it was back from Sri Lanka. Yeah, and I'd come back from Singapore, and these Chinese kids were on their way to Australia, and they spoke very, very little English, but we tried to have a conversation. It was good fun. So I should have known that. Yes, and of course, Japanese is konnichiwa. Oh, how many of you are perfect linguists? Kev House said, I'm hopeful for KCS. The exchange is flawless. I love using the interface. Man, it's a good exchange. Good region of the world to be based as well, I think, in Hong Kong. They've got some interesting coins coming. They seem to be favouring NEP5 tokens. So I think there's going to be a lot of hype around NEP5 tokens. As people, Neo holders are into the ICOs because they've got the Neo to spend. I think it can do well, Kev. I mean, even at those 15% returns, man. Imagine if it hits like a $1 billion trade volume daily, which is not out of the question. It's not. It's only another 3x from here, or let's say $2 billion even as the market all increases. Those KuCoin shares are going to be worth holding at the price you're paying for them today. I didn't check the price, but I know I got mine pretty cheap. Like I swapped one Neo for 16 KuCoin shares. That seems like a good deal to me. So I think that was the rate I got. It was around that. I can check my accounts. I know I paid a lot more than that a few days ago. Just topped up QLink. What do you think, Fish? Adnan? Love QLink, mate. It's a lofty ambition, isn't it? A worldwide Wi-Fi hotspot, but what's it worth? What's it worth if you can achieve it? And I believe QLink have the team to do it. The app's going to be coming out soon. So we'll start building the network through shared resources through phones and in-home Wi-Fi, creating that initial network. And then that gets built on by fourth quarter of 2018. It's not long to wait, till the end of this year. And then we've got the actual QLink boxes, the base station, the QLink base station's being distributed. QLink have already partnered up with Central Automotive in China. That's a big deal. So they're going to have QLink base stations in cars so that you're creating an on-the-move digital Wi-Fi hotspot with a very robust network, really, if the plan all comes together. It's still venture capital, guys. But yeah, no, I think I've spoken to the QLink team personally. I am a strategic investor there, in full disclosure. But I think they're dynamic. I think they've got a lot of drive, and I think that if any team is going to achieve such a lofty goal, the QLink team are off to an excellent start. You need an Icon wallet, says Hourglass. Yes, you do, mate. Yes, you do. I'm just keeping mine in my my wallet at the moment, but you're gonna have to change that. Goes over to the mainnet, then you're gonna have to move your ERC20 tokens into actual Icon. It's a good question. King Crypto said, do you think it's bad for those of us holding large amounts of coins on Binance? I'm assuming that you're referring to the Chinese news. No, because it's only if they can't. It's not going to affect the exchange itself. It'll affect perhaps Chinese citizens using that exchange, but not. Well, it already has, but not overseas citizens. So, Kev, unless you're in China, I think you'll be fine, mate. Mehdi said, what are your thoughts on crypto lending platforms? Have you used one before? No, I haven't, Mehdi. I haven't. I'd love to see a sustainable lending platform with reasonable interest rates introduced into the crypto economy for those that don't want to have such heavy risk, high risk. Like the thing is, for me, right, my house would literally be worth 2.5 times what my mortgage is left on it. So for me to use my house as security and loan that to someone through a smart contract, I would much rather be doing that than paying the banks, which I am at the moment. I would much rather do that. So as soon as I find a really reliable lending pattern and someone willing to fork out a bit of money and put the house up as collateral, I'd be willing to just move my loan from the bank straight away. But I haven't found one that enables that yet. LA Token have got ambitions to. It's not really loaning though. It's more like you can unlock equity in your real world assets by selling off part of them or selling the ownership of part of them to be bought back at a later date. That was another option I was considering as well. But yeah, no, if I could find a really good loaning platform that could secure a home loan size loan, I would actually look at it. I'd look at doing it through crypto for sure. Jazz in the house. He's been just helping everyone out. Yeah, Ethercep's pretty bullish on Dragon as well. He said he dumped nearly all his BCH, all his Bitcoin Cash, which he'd made good money on. He'd made really good money on that. He picked up the trend before it happened, made good money on Bitcoin Cash, and he says he moved it into Dragon Chain. Well, he sent it to Fishy, and Fishy moved it into Dragon Chain for him. But yeah, he's thinking about dumping the LTC and Monero into it as well. Yeah, well, you would have had good gains on Monero and LTC because you've been in the economy for a long time. I think Dragon Chain's probably got more growth potential than Monero and LTC for 2018. It's a smaller market cap. That doesn't, that doesn't mean it will always grow more than the larger market caps. We've seen that in recent times with the top 20 doing exceptionally well, in the last couple of months. Not today so much. King SQB1 Inc. said, love your info and style. Thanks, man. I was actually speaking to one of the crew yesterday, Funny Guy. Was it Funny Guy? I can't remember who was telling me. They said, Fish, you need to get your tech sorted out. Get a microphone. I said, yeah, I've got one. I just don't know how to make it work with a Mac. So I'm going to actually set up a new crypto streaming station. I've got a sunroom out the back here. And that's actually where my real world coins sit as well from all over the world. So I figure that's just going to be a coin room now, crypto coin, real world coin. Set out there, I'll get my microphone set up and try and work on my tech so you guys get a better quality of production. But I do appreciate you sticking with me through these times, and thanks for the very kind feedback, Kings QB1 Inc. Oh man, I've missed a lot of chat. What did Jazz say that Ethercep's cranky about? Nodio said, hi Fish, what did I miss? Has the world exploded? No, mate, just China and Indonesia. There was some news out of Indo as well. So a statement from a government official out of Indonesia saying that I think it was a government official. It's either that or banking sector. I can't remember, but either way, it's equally not as good. It's not good, I mean. saying that cryptocurrency is not legitimate tender in Indonesia, which kind of sucks because I just contacted Bitcoin Indonesia about a joint promotion with PivX about trying to get us added to that exchange. See how that goes. Let's see, guys. Bank of America owns Bloomberg. Yeah. Oh, that's a JP O'Brien. That's interesting. That's an interesting point. Yeah. There's certainly mainstream media seem to be overhyping the potential for bubble, overhyping every single downturn in the market. That's what I've noticed because of the people who call me. Now, I don't watch mainstream media. Maybe I should, but I don't. Apart from like financial reports and things like that, I do a bit of that. But generally speaking, I don't turn on the news at night. So, and especially for my information on the crypto economy, because it does seem heavily biased towards the, I don't know, downplaying the significance of blockchain and what we're doing. And upplaying the sexy angle of, oh, it's a scam and it's a pyramid scheme and there's billions of dollars about to be lost in a bubble, because that makes people watch. Lots of FUD from the mainstream media recently. Some powerful people are pushing the agenda that crypto is bad at the moment. Yes, Ed. It's been those powerful people pushing it for a long time, and there will be for a long time to come. Andy G's in, probably in for half an hour. She has said donate correction. FUD, yeah, I think so, dude. What do you think of Ethos and Substratum? Shaquille Ahmed. I got into Substratum at ICO, so very lucky for me. Thank you to Cranky Pete who bought that. That was one of the 4 ICOs that I consider that we did as a group. I put Icon in there not because we used referral bonuses or pulled our money together like we have done on other projects, but we did get together as a Discord group when it opened and made sure that everyone was capable of, voice chatting on Discord to make sure we all knew how to get in if we wanted to. And there were several. I think there was 10, 12, 15 people. So I consider that a successful group ICO, even though we weren't pulling money or using referral bonuses. But one we did do that on, Shaquille, was Substratum. So there was a referral bonus offered at ICO, and we actually used that amongst our group to maximize the amount of coins our group would receive. So Grinkers used my referral. I can't remember, Pete's. Yeah, I used Pete's. We just all just shared it around, and then we split up the coins, basically just sent them back to each other and that sort of thing. So it worked really well. I think we got it at I think it was either 6 or 10 cents or 11. I can't remember. It was very, very cheap for Substratum compared to where it is now. I think it's a solid project. I did hear some controversy on this recently. One of the most influential YouTubers in crypto would be a guy called DataDash, and he was paid 100,000 Substratum to promote it. So it wasn't his top picks for 2018. But when you've been paid 100,000 of them, there's obviously a reason to be picking it as your top picks. Furthermore to that, he actually couldn't access the tokens. It was kind of a funny, not funny, sorry, DataDash, but interesting part to the story. He'd made a little mistake. I can't remember what the mistake was, but he was having trouble accessing them. That was my only concern, is that the stamp of approval and endorsement from a well-respected YouTuber like DataDash somewhat loses its validity when it's found out it's paid for. So that's the thing. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's the same for you at PivX. I'm going to say, no, it's not. So I can make public my official sponsorship arrangement with PivX. I do receive a budget that I'm using to, cement a relationship between PivX and the surfing community. But for me personally, what I actually receive that I haven't purchased myself, you guys ready for it? My sponsorship deal? One PivX. I just wanted it official. I just wanted it to be officially the first athlete or first surfer sponsored by cryptocurrency. I was happy to work for him because I like the ideals that were being presented to me when I first met the team over there. So I said, oh, you don't even have to pay me. Just give me one PivX, we'll call it official. And since then, I have received budgets. In full disclosure, of course, I have, but they're distributed to pay for PivX promotions. One of which we're working on at the one of which I'm working on at the moment in conjunction with members of the Crypto Wave investment crew, which is going to be a whole lot of fun. I just did some research on that this morning, guys. Real easy, really, really, really easy. So I'll pop all the links up in that channel that we've created on Discord, and then we'll go ahead and we'll create a joint Twitter account and a joint YouTube account, so that it allows all of us to get on and do our thing, because it's going to be a worldwide thing. So that should be a lot of fun. Chase F's in. How are you, mate? What else have we got? Psycho7 said, Monday, bloody Monday. Yeah, mate. Well, it's Tuesday in Australia, but the song fits better for Monday. It sounds a little bit closer to the original, so it certainly has been. Saw a video this morning. This is Nodio. Saw a video this morning on Hashgraph saying Ethereum's speed will be seriously affected with a couple of its ERC20s, i.e. Telegraph and Ether. The one with Pest Dragons will use 20% of it. Nodio, where's the rest of that? Oh, hang on. It was in the middle of the night, so I didn't quite get it all about the vid. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Hashgraph, Nodio. I'm gonna put it in the same. I'm going to put it in the same category as Tangle Technology. It's a promising adaptation, evolution of the blockchain, but it's unproven and untested. So on potential, yeah, but we need some testing. I'm not sure about these people who come in and confidently tell me it is it. That's all we need now. I think, how can you possibly know that? Dragon held through Korea FUD, and many YouTubers just released videos. Possible Binance soon. Will skyrocket, says Ethercept. Wellington Kanye said, "Oh, poor TRX Tron." Yeah, it's had a hard time of it, mate. But I can't blame the market for reacting to plagiarism the way they have. It turned D off. It turned Ethercept off. It turned me off. Made me look like an idiot when I was saying how much of a good read and I stand by that. It was a good read. It was a good read. And whoever wrote the white paper, what's his name? I'm not sure if he actually wrote it, but he obviously thought it was a pretty good read as well. That's why he stole it. So I stand by my comments saying it was an impressive white paper and a good read. I didn't know that it was half plagiarized. Okay. Jao said, yeah, he's actually bought Dragon Chain because of the possible Binance listing. That would be obviously a massive boost to Dragon Chain, who up until being added to KuCoin availability was nothing. It was on Ether Delta, I think, and that's it. So, yeah, I think an addition, like, you got to think about it. Ether Delta's had its problems recently, and then KuCoin's trading at a $300 million daily volume. So if Dragon Chain gets added to a $6 billion a day volume exchange, you've got to think that that's going to be positive for Dragon Chain. See how we go. Sometimes it goes the other way. We've seen that. Seb, I can't remember what you were speaking to with Seb. What did Seb say? Oh, we'll keep moving down. Guys, I'm going to come back to live chat. Sorry if I've skipped a few. If it's really important, put it back in. Nah, Noddy, I haven't seen anything on Titanium. I've still got several reports to write, guys. I won't be looking at any new coins for at least 3 or 4 days. Thoughts on Neo's progress compared to its price? Its network was creaking at the seams approaching the key ICO public sale. Transfers went from 5 seconds to 15 minutes. BB Junkie, that's brilliant information, man. Thank you for keeping on top of that. I think it proves that at this stage, the difference between transaction per second, and this is something that, you know, this is a big shout out to Crypto Investor. I know he's a somewhat controversial in his opinions because he's not just constantly going, oh, it's the best thing ever and it's going to moon for the rest of our lives. Well, I actually like that very considered approach that he takes. And, you know, he suggested a long time ago that, not a long time ago, but in a Rayblocks video, saying, look, if you guys are buying this simply because of its scalability, simply because of its current transactions per second, it's the wrong reason to be buying a coin. And the reason is because the economy as a whole will scale. It's like saying the internet's in 1982 oh, this is it. That's as quick as it's going to get. They knew that wasn't going to be the case. They knew they had to work on solutions to get it faster and evolve the technology, and that's where we're at with blockchain. But we also know that we've got some of the greatest minds in the world working on this, so we know we're going to get there. We will get to the required number of transactions per second, and therefore that is not necessarily as significant a part of the race as what people are suggesting, because the reality is, as soon as you get past, there's no currencies really that can scale to the amount that is needed at the moment, not tested. No one's proven they can handle 100,000 transactions per second. So until that comes, we haven't even hit the stage of what we need for credit card transactions, let alone actually, because if you think about how many people have actually been able to access banking services and financial services in the past, and what you've needed to do that, and then you think about all these people who are soon going to be accessing $20 smartphones and be able to be in control of their own bank, and how many transactions per second that is going to add to the financial network of the world, we're going to need more than 100,000 transactions per second, far more. So the overall solution hasn't come yet. And therefore, NEO busting at the seams because of a popular ICO is not necessarily a huge concern for mine. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I mean, NEO's quicker than, I mean, if we are going to go, okay, well, transactions per second is super important, NEO's still a lot quicker than Ethereum, right? Sam, I don't know what that was referring to, but he said the GitHub comments were stolen code. Oh, that's for Tron. Okay, for Tron, the GitHub comments were stolen code as well. It just keeps getting deeper. Thank you, mate. I hadn't read that, but I'll just, yeah, it's been a bit of a mess. King Crypto believes that if Dragon gets added on Binance, it'll be a $10 coin even in a down market. I'd have to do some figures, man. It's released on top of it. That's why NEO's there. That's why NEO's doing this while everything else is collapsing around it. I mean, Ethereum's held fairly strong and been super bullish over the last few months anyway. But NEO is increasing in value because it is adding value to its network through the addition of applications. That's what it's been built for. So when we see that happening with Dragon Chain, we can certainly see some, and as things start to even get announced, you're going to see those runs up as people buy up to get into those other projects based on the Dragon Chain rather than on NEO's blockchain. And that's why I say with Cardano and EOS, they were overpriced for the stage development, because that I was aware of, they were quite a long way off actually releasing anything on top of the network. So I think, yeah, if Dragon Chain, and they look to be being really active about that, so they've gone on to, like I said, that Life ID partnership, so that'll clear the KYC thing. If they can start releasing a couple of applications, that's where the current market is at. The whole idea of valuing things on promise and valuing things on potential, I think, is somewhat coming to an end, and people are wanting real world. They want to see it. They don't want to think about how cool it could be. They want to see how cool it is. So that's my opinion. Power Rally said, I think we will deal with FUD every other week this year. Yeah, man. It's been like that ever since I've been in. I'm not by no means been in the space for years, but for the 8 months I've probably seen 6 or 7 of these corrections at least. Tron's white paper has excerpts from the big book they read in those big buildings that have bells on them. Oh, in the church. So what do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. Think about it. The Chinese will go nuts for Dragon. Probably should add more Komodo to the bag also for future partnership possibilities. I think Komodo's a good project, King Crypto. I really do. I think they've set up well in Europe, man. And I'm really looking forward to that Monese ICO. It's been held off for a long time, and I think people are forgetting that it's coming. And I think that's going to be well worth getting into, because that's, again, like it's forward thinking, because Monese already have SEPA licenses, so licenses for business in European countries. Not as are you saying that Warren Buffett is not one of the world's best minds? Ha ha ha. I mean, he's a very, very successful investor, the most successful of all time. Doesn't mean he can't be wrong. I don't believe he's ever invested in any tech startups in his life. So he looks for the tried and tested, which is fine. Some of us are about trying to create a better world, though, and change the world. Jia just said, now I've just shown they're not ready for ICOs. Overvalued, in my opinion. They need to start to deliver. Thank you, Xiao, for taking the contrarian point of view to the market at the moment. It keeps us all level-headed. King Crypto said, oh, I hope it drops lower. I'd love to buy some more. It's a good debate, guys. At least they are actually producing some stuff on top of it, though, Xiao. Like I said, I think scaling will come, and this is the price we pay of being in the early adopter stage. Can you imagine what you had to go through to send an email in the early days? I don't want to have to imagine that because it's hard enough for me to send an email today. I know Ripple is centralized, but I wanted to ride its next bounce. Is it going to bounce? If so, I will wait and then get rid of it once I offset my losses. Thanks, Fish. Harry Taylor, I think it probably will bounce, man. Definitely. Well, it definitely will at some stage, in my opinion. That centralized currency is probably going to be favored by the institutional money. So I think it's undoubtedly going to have a bounce. But yeah, I don't watch the charts closely on Ripple, but I don't think it's hit all-time highs. I honestly don't. I think it'll get higher than it has in history. And I also think that with all the rumor I'm hearing, I think there will be a listing of on Coinbase sometime in 2018, which would be a big win for Ripple as it makes it the lowest per unit coin available on Coinbase. And still to this day, I'm getting asked questions about the cheapest coin price. And now I don't know whether people are just trying to be funny because I did the whole coin price doesn't matter video, or whether they're genuinely wanting to know which is the best thing for a cent. And I think as much as the market evolves and wisens up to the fact that coin price doesn't matter, there'll still be a lot of those people out there who simply see 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents as cheap rather than looking at the market cap and circulating supply. It's relative rarity. Isaac, 50% discount on nearly all coins. PivX is kind of stable, hovering around $10. Good to see. Yeah, I'm happy with that, man. The thing is, guys, this is the thing, right? You've really, really got to be careful in this economy, okay? So obviously we want to bring attention to what we're doing at PivX, but there's a fine line. There's a fine line. There really is, because we don't want to attract people who are looking to make millions of dollars overnight. We don't want to attract those sort of people because honestly, what are those people going to do with their PivX? The next hot thing that comes along that can make them $1 million overnight, they're going to dump their PivX and get onto that. So we're really not interested in attracting those people, which is why our advertising is somewhat low key. It's certainly not shill the crap out of the coin and predict ridiculous price points. So, I'm stoked with that. And I don't need to see 10% growth day on day to be satisfied, because inevitably 10% growth day on day leads to a dump, and dumps shake out confidence of new investors. So no, I'm happy with sustained manageable growth in PivX, and that's what we're aiming for. So if you're want to be an overnight millionaire, probably invest your money somewhere else, please. And we'd prefer the people who are in it for the long haul. Could the key ICO problems have been to do with the key setup themselves rather than the NEO network? It could have been, but I believe there was, from what I'm reading in the comments, there was strain actually based on the number of transactions per second. I'm curious to the relationship between NEO and gas dividends. Do you think it is a decent investment opportunity? Sam, 6% is what I'm reading anecdotally. So yeah, man, that's solid returns, right? 6% a year. People get starry-eyed in this economy, right? They want to make their 1,000% overnight. Oh, okay, you can go and play horses if you want to play odds like that. Go and throw your money on a casino table if they're the sort of gains you're looking for, because in sustainable projects, it's just not realistic over and over again. So yeah, man, I think Neo's a good. I've been doing it. I've been holding Neo for the A, because I know there's going to be ICOs I want to get into. We've done well in that space, and I will be looking at other ones. But B, I'm getting the gas while it ticks over. Same way I hold my PIVX in my savings account, man. So yeah, I think it's a good call, man. You look for those residual income coins. That's why I'm super bullish on KuCoin shares at this price too, because I've done maths on it as usual. So like the maths that I did said that you're going to get a 6% return per year buying it at $20, but that assumed a 50% reward system. So taking that back down to a 15% reward system, you've got to triple the volume for KuCoin shares to get that same return, which I think you will, of $1.15 per year. And I think that will happen quite comfortably. But now KuCoin shares are not at $20 like they were when I did the formula. They're bloody almost half of that. So yeah, I think it's really good value for KuCoin shares at the moment. I think PIVX and Neo are great long-term holds because you get your residual income. There are a few coins like that. Guys, don't be suckered in by the coins that offer 20, 30% residual incomes as well. It's just not sustainable. No economist in the world, blockchain economist or fiat economist, will tell you that is sustainable. It is simply not. So be careful about those ones that are offering the really high rewards for staking. That's a really good question, SB. I'm not actually sure of the answer, my friend. SB said, can you enter the Neo market with fiat? I'm kind of stuck because I'm capped out on Coinbase, so I can't make any moves yet. You can get a limit increase on Coinbase if you go into settings, SB, on Coinbase, and go into the help part or live chat, and you just type in limit increase. It'll tell you what you need to do to get an increase on Coinbase. You might have already done that. But no, I'm not aware of any. It'll depend which country you are in. Is it CoinSpot, guys, or CoinTree or CoinJar? I can't remember what it's called. CoinSpot. There is one in Australia that allows you to buy altcoins with fiat currency, with Australian dollars. You'd have to check for your own country. If you want to mention which country you're from, SB, we were checking out how wide our international membership is at the Crypto Wave Investment Crew, and it's quite broad. So if you'd like to put which country you're from, there might be someone in the chat who can help you out. No, I'm just holding it, Kev. I didn't buy a whole lot of it, man. It was just sort of like I had some profits taken in a coin. I put like $100 into it. Kev's asked me about VeChain, sorry, Ven. I do like the market though. I put some into Wabi as well, but Walton is my main hold in the RFID blockchain race, if you like. But I don't know. Wabi for mine seems to actually have the best growth potential because of the market they're looking to get into. Like verifying goods in China could potentially be huge. There are people in China who are now importing products from Australia because we can guarantee the supply line. Like we have really good quality control and that sort of thing in Australia. Really good. Like sometimes you like being over-regulated, and supply lines for food and things like that are one of them. So there was the baby formula thing a few years back in China. I don't know if you guys remember, but a stack of babies died, and like 300,000 ended up being affected. And it was because it was dodgy baby formula. Someone was putting in cheaper stuff, and the supply line, couldn't be traced. And with RFID technology, it does actually give the ability to have a much more transparent supply line. And I think people in China are going to be demanding that. So I think Wabi, Walton, and VeChain, Ven all offer promise for that reason. VeChain have been rumoured to be working with the Chinese government. Walton have been rumoured to be working with the telcos in China. But rumours, like it's negotiations. Nothing has been locked in yet that I've heard of anyway. So no, not trading it, man. I didn't accumulate enough to trade any. I just sort of, if I accumulated a big thing of it, I would have traded it. But like I said, I grabbed $100 or something. It's done me well. I grabbed the $100 worth. I'd be actually worth a couple hundred now, or I think a little bit more. William Yates, if you go to Vegas with $500, you play dollar slots. If you go to Vegas with $100,000, you play $100 a pool. Same thinking as what is the cheapest coin. Yeah, William Yates. That's true. That's true, bro. Which non-Bitcoin exchanges can be entered with fiat? Okay, sorry, yeah. Oh yeah, Jiao's got. Oh no, that's the okay. So Jiao's put a link up there. There is a gas calculator, and it's neotogas.com. Calculates the dividends. SB, is anyone able to help SB out there, guys? He's asked the question several times, so he's looking for an answer. With fiat, I only know in Australia there's one called CoinSpot, I think it's called. I'm in long term on PivX, but I also was naive on Ripple and bought high and just pray it will rebound some to get rid of so I can invest long term on PivX, Neo, and maybe Monero. I think they're all solid projects, Harry Taylor, that you've spoken of there. I don't think Ripple's not a good project either, man. That's just a philosophical thing for me, you know. One person owning 61% of the network, that doesn't really scream blockchain, does it? So it's not for me. But I think the other three you've mentioned there are solid projects. Monero's continued to prove itself as a top 20 coin continuously and a real leader in the privacy coin. PivX has done amazing things, being first again in the privacy race, being the first proof of stake coin to implement zero coin protocol. We're going to be staking it. I mean, you can check out the roadmap, guys. We've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up for 2018. And I also think Neo, yeah, I think it's going to be a good hold over 2018. I think you're unlikely to see retracements by the end of 2018 from this point, and I think you are likely to see growth. How much, I don't know, but as we said, in the meantime, stake it away and get your gas. Yeah, for sure, Fong. Let's do it, man. Sorry, guys, I am really far back on the chat. It's just taking me a bit to catch up, but Fong's come in and said, hey, mate, I know you're frothing over VR technology the other week. Caught my attention straight away with the use of frothing. It's a frothing word, frother. All right, frother, let's have a look, Fong. So on that, we could briefly take a look at Seek. Sorry, C-E-E-K. We're going to come over to screen share and take a look. Haven't had a look at one today, so let's have a look. Going to have to get onto coinmarketcap.com to this heavily bleeding market to find the coin that has been recommended by Fong. Well, not recommended. He just wants. Must be. Is it an ICO? Is it? Seek. Okay, let me have a look. We'll find it. Seek. Crypto. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted. I'm just looking for the actual official website for it. Oh, we can let's read a article about it anyway. Fong, have you got the website, man? If you can pop it up in the chat so we can actually have a look at it if you're still in here. I know, I'm well behind. Oh, Romeo, I'm opposite on that. That's Colossus coin, right? We'll get back to that in a second. I'll tell you why. It's because Masternode holders get 20% staking rewards and stakers get about 5%. Let me just have a look. Okay, Seek, a new reality. VR Veteran uses blockchain technology to improve concert goers' experiences. Startup Seek is using a combination of blockchain technology and virtual reality to benefit both artists and concert goers. A mid-year concert ticket report indicated that more than 65 million tickets were sold globally for a total of almost $4 billion. Undoubtedly, this number has increased since the report was released in July, meaning that 2017 will be quite a year for ticket sales. That's good for event chain holders. I'm holding some event chain. Appraisal of this year's best-selling concerts reveals dozens of shows that reached over $1 million in gross revenue. It also isn't uncommon for general admission ticket prices to be in the $200 range, with some even hitting the $300 mark. Unfortunately, there are significant limitations with the current concert system. For one, artists simply cannot perform everywhere where there is demand. There are only so many concert venues in the world, and even these venues have maximum capacities. As a result, there is a cap on the number of tickets that can be sold in a year. as well as the number of fans that can view their favorite artist. In response to this, some companies like Seek are using a combination of blockchain technology and virtual reality to benefit both artists and concert goers. Is this going to make me sign in? No, it's not. Good. All right. We'll keep reading. Where were we up to? Here we go. The platform opens up a new stream of revenue for artists and their labels while also providing concert goers an extremely realistic viewing experience no matter where they physically are. The untapped virtual revenue stream. It is no surprise that artists make a killing on tour. For example, if a performer makes $100,000 per show and sings for an hour and 40 minutes, it works out to be $1,000 a minute on stage. But what if there was a way to increase the revenue stream with blockchain-powered VR platforms? There is. Blockchain platforms allow artists and their labels to create virtual tickets through coin minting features. Thus, even when local shows are sold out, artists and labels can sell VR tickets, virtual tickets to VR concert goers across the globe. They can sell an unlimited supply of tickets at a tiny cost, allowing them to increase revenues in an extremely efficient manner. The tokenization of the platform also provides artists and labels with a means of transacting very quickly anywhere in the world. VR concert attendees will pay in the platform's token, whether they are in the United States or in India. What's more, artists and labels also create unique virtual merchandise and goods that can be sold to fans. These items can be sold on the platform's decentralized marketplace and can grow in value as demand increases. Money aside, artists will be able to experience the satisfaction of performing for theoretically millions of fans across the globe at a fraction of what a live concert would cost. By providing virtual goods and paraphernalia, they can help their global fans be dedicated and committed like local fans who have the privilege of seeing a live show. The reality of a virtual concert. For concert goers, the platform creates a lifelike experience that is meant to rival the real thing. Virtual tickets can be bought from anywhere in the world, and users can deck themselves out in virtual fan gear created by artists and their teams. I'm so sorry, but it's just like, I don't understand that whole thing. Like, I get the idea of a concert for sure, but why are you going to deck yourself out in virtual clothing that you have to pay for? I don't understand that. I know, like, it's a big market and whatever, but it just never, I don't understand. The platform also provides a way for artists to sign autographs or virtual album covers. The marketplace gives users an opportunity to interact with other virtual fans, providing a community feel. Each and every transaction is logged onto the blockchain, providing an unchangeable, auditable proof of ownership. Additionally, the virtual concert is a stream of a real life concert. In contrast to a plethora of VR platforms that offer simulated artificial experiences, Seek platforms users will be able to view live concerts in a way that fully immerse them in the music. Now, with a 100+ degree field of view, fans can also watch various band members at will or turn around to see the audience from different parts of the arena. In this sense, the virtual experience is much better than seeing the show in person. What? No, it won't be. Sorry, I'm a real world person, so the thought that someone's actually going to say that it's going to be better than seeing a concert in real life is a little bit funny to me. Having said that, people are going to love it, right? Not this person, but people, normal people. All right, I'm coming back to get off screen share. See what we all think about the latest addition to the VR race in the blockchain space. There you go, Fish doing some impromptu rhyming to prove his rapping chops. What coin is this? This is called, what was it called? Just having a look. Name of the coin was Seek. C for Charlie, E for Echo, K for Kilo. Yeah, it looks interesting. For me, virtual reality is going to have to get pretty bloody good to replace the real experience, though. That's the thing for me. So, it looks interesting, though, for sure. Give me dates. Google is broke. What are you guys talking about? Cool. Yeah. Jazz just helping out SB with a few links and stuff for trying to get those altcoins because Coinbase has shut him down for his limit. Yeah, so I don't know. That one looked interesting. I don't know if you're still in the chat, Fong, but it looks interesting, man. It's the VR world on blockchain has blown up recently with Decentraland, Voxels, Vibe, all doing really, really well in recent months. Anyway, I'm not going to check the market right now, but in recent months they've all done really well. It's providing a point of difference to the ones that I've seen so far. Vibe is in a similar industry, but it's going for a slightly different niche within that industry. Jay Christell, I've heard a rumor of Google getting into crypto. Any inside info on this situation? Well, I haven't spoken to the guys at Google for a while. Funnily enough, they don't consult with a technical idiot like Fish. No, I haven't heard any rumors on that, man. Like, I did a scare of the news this morning, and mostly what I saw was related to China and being where I am in the world, also Indonesia. So that was the main news that I was reading up on this morning. I hadn't heard the rumor of Google at this stage. Adnan said, Ethos, anyone? Yeah, I look, Ethos I've heard more than one person say that they will be better than Coinbase. So I think that is a specific line that's been spewed out in propaganda. They can be, because there's a demand there for a fiat to crypto exchange that's efficient, less fees, all those sorts of things, focused on customer service. So yeah, I think Ethos can do well. Fish, you need to tell viewers to like the video if they like it. Please like the video if you like it. And if you don't, hit that big dislike button and give the middle finger to Fish. Ethercept USA, $50 limit for first text. The next purchase you could make it in 4 days, $100 limit, $500 up to 7 days. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Oh, this is the limits for the exchanges. SB, we're talking about that this morning, actually. Not this morning, so I was talking about that with, who was I talking about it with? Couple of streams ago. One of the people expressed that they weren't a huge fan of it. I can't remember who it was, but I like the idea of having artificial intelligence on the blockchain. I think decentralized artificial intelligence is the only way forward, because I believe there is far too much risk in having high quality, evolved, if you like, artificial intelligence in the hands of a few. I think that needs to belong to everyone. So I think a decentralized effort to further our development and research of AI is a good goal. I haven't looked heavily into the project, but Dee, who comes on the show, she owns some. She's pretty interested. So yeah, it's cheap at the moment. I know that. Like, not cheap. I don't want to say cheap, guys, but comparative to its recent highs, it has retraced a long way. Sorry, that was really poor wording calling it cheap. Comparative to its recent highs, it has retraced a long way. So if it is something you've been interested in getting into and you believe long-term in the project, it might be a time to start looking at setting your buys. But guys, the way this market moves on emotion, it is likely to retrace further until it finds a bottom. These things tend to work in minimum 12-hour cycles, but the FUD, the FUD can happen quickly too. So just make your own decisions on it. I think it's hard for me to comment long-term on the project because I haven't done a whole lot of research on it. Will Career's in. What's going on, man? Coming in late because I'm about to sign out. I am, because I've been on for over an hour and I got to go and see what's happening with the markets. I've got a few more proposals to write up. Got to keep knocking down those doors for Pivex. Harry Taylor, Fish, your take on Verge and Onion long term. Thanks, brother. Verge, look, I think Verge long term's fine. It provided, like, the thing is I think they learned their lesson from not keeping the community updated with their missed deadline on Wraith Protocol, and perhaps they'll be more cautious to keep the investors informed and the community informed in the future, and that should help them continue to grow that community support. And from there, it's all going to come down to the development of the technology, as you're mentioning there, Onion. That's to do with like IP address hiding. Am I right? It's further promoting anonymity within the Verge coin. Am I correct, Harry Taylor? Seb said Elf could be a decent buy soon too. I think you're going to see a few decent buys in the economy because I do think some projects are underpriced, not only for their stage of development, but when you're looking at things like KuCoin shares for the maths you can do on it, the maths you can do, provided the exchange keeps turning over what it has and the rate doesn't drop below 15% per annum. I'm just checking out KuCoin shares now. So I think there are decent buys around, but I think part of this retracement is because the overall market was overheated and a lot of the projects had gotten really overhyped for their stage of development. I mean, Tron's one of them. Cardano's another one. EOS for mine. These are things that all have brilliant potential, especially Tron, the potential to plagiarize more. No, sorry. I don't know how you'd do it. Why would you do that? Anyway. But yeah, I think they were perhaps a little overpriced and people were thinking 5 years away instead of the here and now. So, yeah, I think it's healthy that we've had this correction, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, Harry Taylor's just confirmed for me that I was speaking about the right thing with Onion on Verge. Yeah, so Onion's a different coin actually, sorry, isn't it? Yeah, so it's another privacy coin. I'd have to have a look into it. I think Verge is a funny one. It got overpriced because of a couple of things. It got overpriced because of McAfee. It got overpriced because of its per unit price. It got overpriced because of a run in both privacy and DApp platforms, and that has both. So it got hit with double hype, triple hype, quadruple hype. And I think it really did get to a place of overvalued. Quana's opinion is that EOS is undervalued. And there are a lot of EOS fans out there. My personal opinion is until I start seeing applications released on it, I don't think it warrants a $10 billion valuation. That's my personal opinion. I think the valuation can catch up, like the current valuation that has been given can be reached in short time as well. We've seen that with Neo. I was calling that overbought until we started to actually see some development on it. And then I was able to say, okay, well, now I think it is a good buy. And it went into my top 5 for the year. And the same thing could happen for me with EOS as soon as they start releasing some applications. But I'm just really more about the here and now than the promises and the potential. So, yeah, I know I'm in the minority on that one. I know most people think that EOS is undervalued. On potential, perhaps. On current stage of development, I'd have to disagree. Pascal coin, I haven't had a look at, Tommy Ho. Ethercept said EOS is way overhyped to be this early. Yeah, I agree, Ethercept, but it's an interesting debate that's splitting the economy at the moment, mate. Has plenty of EOS S-band. Yeah, EOS launches in June, and perhaps at that stage we can look at giving it a multi-billion-dollar valuation. But until then, we've got nothing to prove that it's going to work other than a test net that hasn't got substantial strain on the network. So, yeah, I just prefer to see it tested. So that's for me. Everyone's allowed their own opinion, and I know that Ethercept and I are in the minority because there are a lot of huge EOS fans out there. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for the day. Will do, Ethercept. I'm going to wrap it up for the day, guys. Yeah, true, Quana. That's one of the ones I was calling overpriced as well. Cardano is several years away from launching anything. Yeah, I agree. That's why I was saying I was preferring Neo, and I couldn't understand how Neo was priced below EOS and Cardano because they've actually got a network. Anyway, it's a really interesting debate. I'm not an EOS bagger, by the way. I think it's got brilliant potential, but I think that's what we're pricing it on rather than its current stage of development. All right, guys. Jao said to like and subscribe. I'm sure a lot of EOS fans are probably going to unsubscribe and dislike after that. But like I said, I don't have anything against the project. I'm just saying current stages of development. All right, guys. It's been fun fun info for the chat I'm going to check out and catch up with you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye.